Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Prerna. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
Hey, Siddharth.
We are live at this point in time, but we'll wait for the right time to start the event. Vidya will also be joining in, and then we're gonna start the event.
Sure.
Hope you guys are not facing any issue in terms of hearing each of us, right? Audio, video, everything is fine. Yeah.
That's good. Nothing as of now.
Yeah, all good.
Oh, all good then. Hi, Vivek.
Hi. Hi, Siddharth.
Hi, Vivek. How are you?
I'm seeing you after a long time.
Yes, long time. Hope you're doing well.
Things are, I believe, going pretty well.
Yes, all good. All good. Thank you.
Seeing the amazing products and varieties that you have been launching regularly.
Yeah, we've launched some new products. We're launching some new ones for next year as well. So
Yeah, I think that's a perpetual movement at your end. Wonderful.
thank you.
So when are we meeting? Now that Costa Coffee we used to meet has closed down and it has given place to this another coffee shop.
It's a tea shop, La Opera. We can meet
La
anyone.
Opera, yes, La Opera, yes. La Opera is the new occupant.
Yeah.
And that's Prerna and Money. And Prerna, you are in two frames. I don't know.
My team is checking for live streaming and everything, then they will disconnect.
So last time I missed having coffee with you when I was in your office.
Yeah.
So
But we should definitely catch up again.
Yes, I'll invite myself over sometime soon to have coffee with you. So your people were very warm and courteous. It was a very pleasant meeting there.
Great.
So Siddharth, are you giving me any business? Any plans of giving business to me?
Nothing in the milk space, but we hope to do some milk tea soon.
Sure. You're always welcome.
Thank you, sir.
We'll start in another 11:35. We'll just start.
No issues. We are available till 12:30 and beyond, whenever you want us. I'm available. No issues.
Great.
And money, Upreti. So money, what are you into?
We are into ready-to-eat nutritious snacks, which vary from trail mixes to nutrition bars and seasoned seeds.
Okay, which is that?
The brand is called Nutritattva.
Okay, wonderful.
And we have been with Daalchini also for actually a couple of years. We saw some packaging changes happening during that time.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you.
And Siddharth, I know I've tasted his products.
Yeah,
I thought I would get some samples from
I can
Siddharth.
say that I've tasted each one of your products. So whatever comes for our vending machine, I definitely make sure that I taste it.
Yeah.
But
Just for others' information, we make bottled teas under the Brewhouse brand.
I see.
so I was waiting for some complimentary samples from Siddharth when I met him first. That was about 3 years back.
Yeah.
Then never came through, so I had to spend my own hard-earned money sample. So my son, he regularly orders.
Great.
So in case of me, I'm from Amrit Food, and most of you have tasted our product. We don't know our brand, but tasted our product a number of times in last 20-25 years.
I see.
So I'll tell you how.
Your product, Bole Mere Chips, I love Uncle Chips.
Yes.
I
That
guess
was there.
like, those are some of the taglines, like even today's consumers, we still remember, right? And it's really amazing to see that how you guys came up with such taglines, which are like till now, they look like, okay, this is for new age, right?
Actually,
Even Khao Gagan, Raho Magan.
yes. You see, you keep on innovating, you never know what hits with the audience.
Absolutely.
So the product that I was mentioning, which in this present company that we are making, is Softy and Flurry for McDonald's. And also for Burger King, we were making Softy and Milkshake, which you consume. Our product is out. And
Yeah, we have
Starbucks.
tasted those.
So Starbucks, whatever cappuccinos, hot beverages that you consume uses our own milk. And dairy whip mix, which they use to top their cold beverage, is again our product.
Okay, I guess it's 11:35, so
Yeah.
we're gonna start the panel discussion.
Yeah.
I'll quickly share my screen as well. So we actually give you a background at why we came across to this webinar. In fact, while we were building our distribution channel of vending machines, right, we tried to understand what kind of challenges today's D2C brands face, right? And to understand that, we did a survey, and with a sample size of about 250 plus brands, including D2C brands as well, right? And there were some incumbent FMCG brands as well, right, as part of the survey. And that is what we did last 3 months. Based on that, we came across a lot of insights about how you guys see different distribution channels, GT, MT, and with intelligent retail, how it is spacing up e-commerce, your own website sales, etc. Now they're like, earlier it used to be GTMT, but now they're like so many distribution channels, and each one of them have their own challenges, right? So the idea was to do that, to understand that as part of the case study. And in our webinar 1, we tried to bring the insights and the perspective from some of the brands like ITC and like speakers from ITC, Marico, even Deloitte, right? They were there and they shared their insights, right? So this time what we wanted was that how D2C brands and like, or somebody like Viveck, you mentioned, right? Now you are coming up with a new brand, which is more into consumer facing, right? How do you guys now see different distribution channel and where as part of intelligent retail ecosystem, which is vending machines, smart stores, etc., right? We can help grow this ecosystem, build a better distribution for all of you. Having said that, right, that we just tried to capture that through our case study, we could understand that LUPs or the Chota-pack, right, is actually one of the key makers or breakers, right? When you talk about a lot of existing brands who have created their footprints into rural India, into the Bharat per se, right? That, and they were able to do that because LUPs are definitely a high growth potential, right? But it obviously comes with its own supply chain challenges as well, right? So, however, brands still take a plunge. They create LUPs because they there is obviously a one side of it, which is the supply chain, right? But there is another side of it, which is consumer, right? Where, or the retailers, where they see that this allows a lot of trials for their product. The consumers they are able to convert the consumer to higher SKUs, target multiple impulse occasions, and most importantly, acquire retailers which are sensitive to working capital investment for a higher priced SKU, right? So all of that have we tried to cover as part of the case study and try to understand in which channel what works well, right? So that's what we will talk and coming on to the panelists, right, that we have today, starting with you, Siddharth, right? Siddharth, you have had a very interesting journey from a fintech in Singapore for about 5 years and then coming to India and creating a all new different category, right? Tell us about your experience and tell us one thing, right? One experience when you tried or you did an impulse purchase, and what was that distribution? And obviously not for your own brand, for any other brand, where you bought something impulsively through any of the distribution channel.
Yeah, so buying the LUP or the Chota-pack typically happens for convenience in our case, right? When you're traveling, or so I can remember buying even a small sachet of hand sanitizer for 1 rupee, because you don't want to buy a 25 rupee bottle every time, because you just need something on the go. Beverages, I think the 5 rupee, 10 rupee price point is the biggest market. It's one of the really big markets. So that would be the entry price point. It is now 10 rupees. It's going down even further in some cases to 5 rupees. And the reasons, like you said, it's convenience, it's lower price point, driving penetration, all of that. And our experience, my experience of coming from investment banking in Singapore to FMCG in India, firstly, without knowing, the challenges of the space. But the idea was to create a beverage brand that consumers can trust, because that is a problem in the beverage space, that consumers feel that they have to make a compromise between health and taste, and they feel that they deserve something which is natural and refreshing. And we chose to go with tea because putting tea in a bottled form can give you something which is natural and healthy at a low cost. Mm-hmm. And with that idea, we're also now looking to bring something in a more affordable price point. So not really going down that 10 rupee price point, but somewhere around the 25 rupee price point.
Okay, that's great. So Viveck, you are the one who has probably maximum number of years of experience on this panelist, right? And you come from a company which sold Uncle Chips and Gagan to PepsiCo and to other companies, right? From B2C in past, then being B2B for a lot of time with supplying to brands like McDonald's and Starbucks, etc. And now again, launching your own brand, Just, right? Please share your experience. Was this launch of Just on cards always, or was that this whole D2C fascinated the management to take that plunge? Please share your experience.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for asking that. First of all, I would like to thank you, Prerna, for considering me worthy to be on this panel, and also giving me this audience to express my view. So first of all, I would like to point out that you have mentioned President and CEO, just do it.
Yeah, just
so that will bring me in direct confrontation with Nike. That's Nike's tagline.
Yeah.
So regarding chips and our Banaspati, I had no role to play in those products, in those companies. So I joined this dairy company about 15 years back. And we were very, very comfortable. We have long-term contract with all these institutions. So, but always we wanted, as a team, we had a very small, we had a good, in fact, footprint in retail in Delhi NCR. We were always in Delhi NCR because the product we made for retail was flavored milk. And flavored milk One, you are in direct competition with likes of Amul and Mother Dairy and other cooperative. So they don't make any money, they don't even let you make any money. So one was that. So, and with a lot of competition, then we had to withdraw our penetration, withdraw our footprint in flavored milk and per se consumers. So we were out of consumers' radar. And for last couple of years, we were contemplating, we have a very good portfolio of products, which we showcase to Siddharth also and other potential clients. So because we were always very, very uncomfortable going back into retail. Retail is very, very tricky, you know, we are all into retail, we are pursuing our dreams to be a D2C brand. So there was always an apprehension. So last couple of years, we were thinking what to do, what not to do with all these. And so we said, let's be in our, we were very complacent. So our comfort level is, yes, let us do contract manufacturing for various companies. And we did go, we were actually contract manufacturing for Mother Dairy, or the chilled brand of flavored milk in pouch and bottle, till they set up their own plant, and that business was gone. So we're looking for some other business. So during this period, Sleepy Owl Day came, then Siddharth also, and a couple of them. So at least 20, 30 youngsters we were discussing. So then we were quite encouraged seeing Siddharth, youngsters like Siddharth, and youngsters like Ajay and Arman of Sleepy Owl. What wonderful work they are doing. So frankly, and we established very recently, we established an aluminium canning plant. So that is the first aluminium canning plant for dairy products in India. So again, our objective was go to companies for private label. So I went around, I went to, I don't think I left any FMCG company. I met everyone of them. And then like there was no business at all. So mine was compulsion. Then I saw Sleepy Owl coming in. So we are making most of the products for them. Then Siddharth was there. And I said, if why not be inspired? So I was really inspired by them. So I thought them to be really very brave people to be doing this. So that inspired us. Then as a team, we discussed that let us take a plunge. You know, it's high time. Let's take a plunge, and then obviously, if we would have sat again and discussed what would be the awareness, how we would have created that awareness, because eventually consumer has to be aware of the product which is in the market. So then we said, if we think a lot, then again we are going to postpone our launch. So let us not think that, and let us cross, as they say, that when the bridge comes, let's cross that. So we'll go one day at a time, we'll go one step at a time. We are not going to think what is going to be a year or 2 years after that. So frankly, we took a leave from Siddharth Jain's marketing, from Sleepy Owl marketing, who are doing a wonderful job. So then let's take a plunge. Already a path has been made. So e-commerce is there, vending machines are there. And so let us be brave this time. Because people like Prerna, people like, I consider them to be, I tell you, they are my ideals, I would say. That so I learned from there. I said, let me take a plunge, and whatever channels are open, let me get into those channels. So we launched this about a month back. We are getting good response. So we are trying every trick in the trade, what we have learned. And we will be another 2 months, 3 months, we'll be across all channels. So right now we are in few e-commerce portals and the vending portal as well, intelligent machines, so as to say, and in brick and mortar as well. Because eventually you have to have your presence in brick and mortar. So now, right now, what we are the challenge, the biggest challenge that we are facing, that we are asking, is how to find a place in mom and pop store. So if we somehow we are able to do that, so that will give us a tremendous huge market. So that is how our currently we are going.
Great. And that's very humble of you by saying that you take inspiration from us. Rather, I would say we take inspiration from you guys.
Yes,
Like,
that's
a lot
right.
of our startups like us, ultimate aim is to get listed, right, someday. And you guys are already a listed company, and then taking a plunge into D2C. It's one side, it is obviously inspiring and exciting, right? But definitely we are more inspired by you guys than you are from us, right?
Thank you. I hope I keep inspiring you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So coming on to Venu, like you have been director for cyber forensic, right? And at EY in fact is one of our like key clients where we have like set up vending machine in almost all their offices, right? Coming with that as background, then launching your own food brand, like how did this idea germinate, right? How did you came across this and you started HappyBar?
So the idea came because of the challenge that all of us in this call, or most of the people like us, have. These schedules, that 4 p.m. lunch, that long travel schedules and all that. So is बीच में तुमको कभी भी, it's always you want to eat something nice, right? But then all the options that you have are either packed or how it is. And साल में कुछ महीने ऐसे होते हैं कि हम सबको लगता है कि अच्छा खाना चाहिए, मतलब healthy, eat healthy, be right, fitness and all that, right? So the options to grab and go were very few. So this came out of a primary challenge from us, and being a parent of 2 wonderful daughters, it's always been a search of trying to find what is good for them and what is tasty for them. How do you pack it? Most of the stuff that you make at home, kids prefer something packed and something advertised on television. Koi chota bean bolta hai, ya fir koi Iron Man bolta hai, so it's all they do it. They pick up that stuff. So the idea was to put all the good stuff that your nutritionists, your yoga gurus, your doctors have been saying, all the nuts that you have to take in a day's consumption. We put it in one single pack and made HappyBar out of it. So anything that is not tasty, we definitely do not eat, and then we do not subscribe anybody to eat as well. So that's how HappyBar came into the picture.
Very interesting journey, and I guess same is the journey, interesting journey with money. You are a doctorate, right? You have been a food scientist with Coke and HUL for 10 years plus, right? And then you took a leap of faith and started your entrepreneurship journey and created Nutritattva with another woman co-founder, right? Quite an inspiring journey. Tell us about your inspiration of starting Nutritattva.
So, as you said, working with Coca-Cola and Unilever at their R&Ds, one gets to see the high-tech ingredient research, which usually FMCGs do only at their corporate headquarters. And that was an eye-opener with a variety of, very fancy ingredients that would be added to premium products. And that was just an eye-opener. I had this passion to create something with those premium ingredients, basically a variety of antioxidants and nutrient-dense, like chia seeds to spirulina to all those. And you do feel that at some point there is a lot of chemical additive out there, and you want it to be out of your food. And that was another trigger point for me. I wanted my kids to have preservative free food, to without any flavor or without any artificial flavor. At least it's just that deep inside into food industry that just made me look for alternates where we can find such products, and there was a limited offering out there. So that's what's the leap of faith that we took, and started with Nutritattva. And all our products are with variety of nutrients, with dense nutrition actually. So the idea is you should be able to grab everything without anything added which could be artificial. Everything should be minimally processed and should be extremely tasty to begin with. So
Wow.
yeah, that is the idea behind Nutritattva.
Okay, that's great. And we have another co-host, Vidya, who's also co-founder of Daalchini. Vidya is the backbone behind our operations, right? He has been instrumental in scaling us from 200 stores in January 2021 to now almost 700 stores, right? And he's actually the reason that we are starting this debate on LUP, because he always thinks that Chota-pack or LUPs can actually sustainably be sold through any distribution channel if you are leveraging technology. And over to you, Vidya. I'll just share one insight, right, that we got as part of our survey, right, that pure digital distributions have lesser likelihood of selling LUPs versus intelligent retail. And as part of our survey, it came across a lot of brands said that through their own websites or through e-commerce, right? Primarily because of logistic cost per volume or margin per volume in F&B industry specifically. Obviously, this insight may not be applicable to other industries like cosmetics, personal care, etc. But primarily for D2C brands in F&B industry, that has been one of the reasons, right? That they are not selling LUPs through e-commerce or and they're bundling their products, right? Over to you, Vidya, on how do you want to change that perspective and how do you want to bring an element of technology to bring out sustainability for selling LUPs?
Hi, everyone. Am I audible?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So thanks, Prerna. Thanks, panelists, for joining us. Yeah, so just like anybody, I was a product manager and then I was thrown into operations and that too from the top. So it was a great learning for me to build the first machine or maybe launch the first machine to now over 600 machines now. And over the period of time, initially I used to hate operations. I used to say that, okay, product management is far better. And then operations management is just like 24/7. You are always in the game and so on. But over the period, I realized that the nuances or maybe the complexities of operations is something which had changed over the period of time. And I'll quote Tom Peters, who is an American writer, who says that leaders win through logistics. Vision, sure. Strategy, yes. But when you go to war, you need to have both toilet paper and bullets at the right place at the right time. So in other words, what he is saying that we win war through superior logistics and supply chain, period. So that's the importance of logistics and supply chain is there when we go for any brands. And why not? Because even if you look at just last 40 years, say 80s, mom and pop store was the biggest retail channel. There was no competition whatsoever for those mom and pop. After the scrapping of license Raj in 1980s and in 1991, there was LPG, financial reform. Post that, brands started to enter into the retail channels through their own brand stores, like Bombay Drying and so on in 1994 and so. Then come to just after 10 years, in around 2000, this mall culture started to evolve. So when I say mall culture, it's like experience. When I'm going to purchase, I want to experience while getting the purchase. Another 10 years, 2010, e-commerce came into picture, and it brought convenience to the purchase. So after every 10 years, there was change in the supply chain and logistics, and we all know what happened in 2020. And it brought another aspect of retail. So right from product to convenience to experience, there is one more thing which has been added, which is safety. So now people look for safe purchase. And why we are discussing here, because this is very early this decade and we don't know which channel is going to evolve for this retail during this decade. And what I feel that any channel which is going to give all those four elements like safe purchase, experience, convenience, and product at right place will win the war of this every decade. So that was my perspective, and I was just trying to relate to the current theme that why supply chain and logistics is more, if not equal important to vision, strategy, product, and anything else. So yeah, coming to Venu. So this question is around this pandemic. So if you look at the quarterly earnings of big brands like Hindustan Unilever, Britannia, Marico, and others, they have posted really strong numbers during their quarterly calls. These companies have also reported that the rural segment constantly outpaces the growth of urban demand, where these LUPs are in big hit. So obviously they were able to make this possible because they have pan-India presence. But we brand our upcoming brands. So do you think that this race where the challenger brand does not get the level playing field with the incumbent will be able to outpace them in placing their products in the channel, or they should look for alternate channels to compete with the incumbent?
Thanks, Vidya. Thanks for asking. So primarily, during the pandemic, all of us learned our lessons in different ways, different volumes. While we were shopping as consumers during the pandemic, the peak of lockdown, it was like, okay, you get anything in the shelves, put it in your shopping cart and you're done, right? And primarily what people were doing was, okay, I know this brand, I've had this brand earlier, so let me stock it up, right? So then once the shelves kept getting emptied, you get anything, everything, you're emptying it into your shopping cart, right? So definitely people who were already placed in the shelves, like, brands like us, where we were not in all the lakhs of retail shelves that were available, but wherever we were present, we also saw a spike in sales. What changed during the pandemic is our sampling thing with the low priced items, and we kind of made some pillow packs so that people can taste, because earlier we used to do activities in malls, running events, and where sometimes there was a urge to cut the bar into smaller pieces, put it in an open bowl and all that. But due to the pandemic, all that changed. Hygiene came into picture, safety, like you mentioned, came into picture. So even for our sample packs, we made pillow packs, and we had people pick one from the bowl themselves without touching it. Definitely increased our costs, but then the consumers started liking it much more better, because when brands like ours, Mani will agree with me and Siddharth will agree with me, tasting it once helps a lot. Unless I taste what kind of tea it is or what kind of nutrition bar it is, I'd not want to, and primarily so when me and Mani are putting our money on the taste aspect of it, unless Vidya tastes it the first time, he wouldn't know how good, bad, ugly we are. So we have this habit of making people taste our bar, and which kind of is helping us. So during pandemic, also one other thing was people were very, very wary about touching anything or putting anything in, tasting any product, because they started reading the labels more. Definitely the reading label was there earlier as well, but then the habit grew multifold, I would agree. And coming to the question of do we have an advantage, or the HULs of the world, the corporate retails of the corporate FMCG folks of the world, do they have a unfair advantage? They do, but then they've put about 50 years of effort, and we are just about 2-3 years from now. Definitely alternate channels like ours. I keep telling Jasveer and Prerna that we are big fans of Daalchini, primarily because we work with other alternate channels as well. But this is where we can actually look at where our bars are, who's consuming more, who's not. Can I repurpose the inventory someplace else? So the alternate channels that people like you are providing are giving us much more insight. Instead of focusing everything on e-commerce, which is kind of becoming really, really expensive now. The Amazons of the world drive the product that they wanted. they came. I sometimes I'm very surprised when I have to bid for my own keyword. So that's strange, because we do so much of activity, and then I put a value on the keyword, and then that value on the keyword, because of our effort, goes up, which is strange. But it's a strange world out there. But definitely alternative channels like yours have helped us in one, primarily in expanding to various geographies where we weren't present earlier, and then with the impulse buy that is in there, most of the places where there is a vending machine or a tuck shop in an office, now that the corporate offices and these IT parks have not opened up full-fledged, so there's no cafeteria, there's no proper lunch, no proper evening snack. So I think I'd bet big on the vending machine for the next couple of years to come wherein, because I walk to a vending machine myself as a consumer and pick up what I like out of it. So one drink and one snack is my minimum, mid-morning snack or a mid-evening snack. So that's where I think we are seeing our sales volumes go up as well. Thanks a lot for all of that, and we'll keep growing together.
Yeah, nice to hear good words. We are putting efforts, but still intelligent channel is at very nascent stage, and we'll need support from brands to grow it quickly across India. So next question is to Mani, and I'll borrow this question from Venu itself. So that Amazon of the words, what they have done is that they have their own ways of selling the products. But when this coming to this LUP, because these are generally priced at 20 rupees, 10 to 20 rupees product, and sometimes it is at priced at 5. And e-commerce is one of the fastest growing retail channel, we accept it or not. So there is one hand, we have LUP, which is priced at 5 to 10 rupees, and this is not commercially viable to be sold from Amazon or maybe an e-commerce site. At the other end, we are focusing more on e-commerce side. So this is not paradox that we are saying that, okay, we'll come up with LUP products because it increases and it has a number of benefits, and we are leaving away this e-commerce. So how do you reconcile these two?
You rightly said this is a paradox, because LUP is something which a customer would appreciate as a trial pack, something that they would want to have as a small volume to begin with, just to taste test. And it works wonderfully with your kind of intelligent channel. But when you think about e-commerce, you are just available pan India. You can have order coming from Bangalore and you have to ship from Gurgaon, or order is coming from Kerala and you have to ship from Gurgaon. So how do you go about it? Because there are courier costs involved. There are things which the e-commerce channel itself will be putting in, as closing fees and a number of other fees, which all make sense. So then the only option left is, to create a new SKU, and that's what we did: a pack of 10, a pack of 5, pack of 20. Because there is no alternate to that. I mean, unless you bring much higher price products. Somehow I realized probably the same kind of product cannot go in the same size, same SKU to one channel and to other channel at the same time. I mean, not a one size fits all kind of story. So yeah, so this is the strategy that we chose.
Okay. So it's like for LUP, it's better to ignore e-commerce, or maybe bundle it.
So yeah, that's true. I mean, you have to have a pack of 10 or pack of 20 only for e-commerce. That's what I'm saying. It actually does not. It is not commercially viable for LUP to be on e-commerce.
Yeah, but when we bundle it, it basically kills the essence of LUP, right? In case I'm buying a product at 100 rupees, then the very purpose or very existence of LUP is questioned.
Agree. Yeah, that's agreeable. But at the same time, if it is a single serve that you pack up into one SKU, say pack of 10, still the customer is getting to eat one at a time. And if it is something that they order online, then probably they do their homework before they do the ordering. And and successfully, that has shown us that that can be done as a different SKU with the LUPs combined together.
Yeah. So that solves a lot of problems for LUPs then. Yeah. So coming to Viveck, this is something which is again aspirational questions. I don't know, this might be a hypothetical, but going away, but because nowadays, sorry. And nowadays, we talk about 10-minute delivery and instant delivery and so on. So the very purpose of LUP is to create category, create multiple occasions of consumption. And one such consumption is that when we go on trek or maybe camps or maybe when we pack our bag for travel, then we put a lot of LUPs in our bags because we don't want to keep a big bag. Otherwise, it will make our backpack heavy. Why is it so? Because obviously this is because we are not sure of the supply chain and we are sure that we will not find our favorite product at the destination. Hence, we carry those in our backpack and go to those destinations. So my question is, what do you think, what innovation should be brought into the supply chain? Obviously, this is already a lot of innovative things going on, so that we stop even packing those LUPs in our backpack when we go for trek or camps or maybe travel.
Very, very difficult question to answer, because the question you are answering, the answer that you are expecting of me, I think this is top mind of all the marketing heads of various FMCG companies. I'll tell you my own example, because whenever I travel, so I always have those LUPs, whether it's shampoo or whether it's cream or whether it is lens cleaning solution, whatever it is. So I'm very, very comfortable, obviously, because of constraint of space, not in my bag, but the vanity that I carry. So I don't want anything to get out of the vanity. And I know whichever city I'm going to, things would be available. But again, the thing is that I'm very, very comfortable with the brands one that I'm using. And for every shampoo, there are, I think, number of brands and number of LUPs. So it's a logistical nightmare for a company to make it available at all these places. We are talking of trek. Let's forget trek. But when I'm traveling to Himachal, you know, in Himachal, there are villages which have a population of 30, 40. And then 10 kilometers either side, there's no habitation. So they have to go and get all those products available. So the simple thing is that the reason why LUP became popular was affordability.
Right.
Right. So people had affordability. I know my trip through UP, I was passing through a rural area and I saw there was a saloon, or a village saloon. So there was this guy, because we get our hair shampooed before we get it cut. So this guy was getting his hair shampooed, can you believe, with a cloth washing soap. You know, in the old days, we used to use that brown color. So he was using that because that is what he could afford. Then 10, 15, 20 years down the road, then those 25 paisa, 1 rupee, 2 rupee, and it's not just shampoo. But now if you go there, oil also. If you want to use a better oil, olive oil also, or if you want to have a food and you need to put tadka of desi ghee, they have those sachets for desi ghees also.
Yeah.
There is such huge variety. Such huge variety that it is a logistical nightmare to make it available. Availability is not an issue, but it should be viable to make it available. So what is viable for a manufacturer will not be viable for a buyer. Otherwise, Prerna, if it is viable, Prerna will put those vending machine down from Everest base camp to top of the Everest. You show me the viability, I'll put a tuck shop at the top of Everest. So that is a very, very difficult thing. Very, very difficult thing. Even if you have volumes, but the margins are so thin in those LUP products that to make it available, to make it viable is very, very difficult. So that is the reason rural, you said that rural is getting better in terms of those, that is basically in terms of only percentage. Already rural business was a very low base. On that base, if it is even 20-30%, and as you compare to urban area, where base is so wide, so things are absolutely different. So I've seen many companies going down because they were not able to do this. They were able to, because I had discussed with many before meeting Siddharth, before meeting Sleepy or before meeting Ray, I had met many entrepreneurs. So they would tell me, कहते यार ये business model बहुत अच्छा है. मैंने क्या business model है भैया आपका कि वो villages हैं वहाँ पे राजस्थान में वहाँ पे product ही available नहीं है. तो हम product available करा दें. मैंने कहा यार ये बताओ Hindustan Unilever of the world and ITC of the world who are making everything. What is the problem with them? Why have they not been able to make it viable? Why aren't they giving? They are getting a market there. It is simple that they are. It is not viable. So that is, I think, $1 trillion, not even $1 billion question, but $1 trillion question. How to do it? So people, whenever they travel, they know one that things are not going to be made available, and if they are going to be made available, see, I get very uncomfortable if I don't get to brush my teeth with the paste that I'm using. Even if I get the best of, but I'm used to that flavor. I'm used to that soap or face wash. So that is the dilemma that is always there. And despite going to a city, still I don't feel comfortable. And people who are going on track, they don't want to miss even a single thing. And track, there are millions and millions of routes in India. There is no one route of travel. So people, they are going, friends, they are going, they say, chale yaar, kahan chalna hai? Chalo, Ladakh chalte hain. Wahan kya trekking karenge? They don't know where the trekking is, what it is. So when they are going, they will stop their road, their car they go off road. And they say, yaar, ye achhi jagah hai. Chalo, tent bhi yahan laga lo, yahan sab kuch kar lo, yahan kuch na kuch to trekking ke liye mil hi jayega. So that is how it is. And the best, again I said, the best is to make available. These is through vending machines. So that's the best. I visited Tokyo a couple of times. I think that's the most vending friendly country in the world. Per capita vending machines would be maximum in, but again, obviously they have to charge their establishment cost. They have to charge whatever they are spending the company. At the end of the day, they have to make, they are not doing charity. So they have to make money from every unit they are selling, simply put. So how to make it viable with all this logistics? And if you go to a mom and pop store, and if you go to it's amazing what varieties are available. You go to Big Bazaar, you go to all these huge format shops, even they don't have space to stock all the items that a person needs. What to talk of mom and pop store, what to talk of a tracker, a tracking path. Where tracking path, infinite number of tracking paths are there. So you will go on a route to Shimla, let us say, or Siddharth goes. So they will find at least hundreds of spots where they can park their car, take it off road, and go on their trekking.
Yeah, so I know this was a moonshot question, but we are solving in a very small way. So we are placing machine in, say, corporates, and sitting from the home, you can check the machine. And in case you want to have, say, Rajma Chawal, and this is already present in the machine, then what you can do, you can, sitting from the home, you can book that Rajma Chawal. When you reach office, you can just buy, you can just vend it. So this is being solved in very small proximity. But down the line, maybe after 10 years, 15 years, there will be time when people will check that those vending machines down the line after maybe 400, 500 kilometers away, can I get this product? And in case yes, then I will book it and I will be sure that I will not have to pack, I will get the product at the destination. So that is actually changing the landscape, that purchase is done and we are getting the product where we are. Now the purchase is done where we are not, where we are going to. So that is slightly shift in the mindset that we are trying to bring.
Because here what you're talking of is convenience. Availability is there. So here you're talking of convenience.
Yes.
Now, and when you're talking of tracking or all these off-beat markets, so you're talking of availability. You're talking of not convenience, but you're talking of availability. So you never know. You never know these tracking paths could be defined by that people are saying, okay, yaar, us path pe chalte hain. Maybe you never know, because it's all part of evolution. That this is a good trekking path. Why? Because Daalchini vending machines are available after every few kilometers. You never know, it can happen. You
Yes.
never know what hits. So it is just keep on, like you say, that you keep on doing, you never know what hits.
Yes.
Vidya, I have a question. Like, do you think that's a big market that people will, I mean, how many people will be checking for stuff to where they're going? I mean, is that a big problem or is that a big market?
Yes, because if you look at in today's world, around 85% of the retail, or maybe more than 80%, is still managed by mom and pop, which is unorganized.
Right.
And when something is unorganized, we don't know what is the underlying demand. So if we penetrate even 20% of those mom and pop store, it will add another 10x more demand. Because I will go to 1984, when people were not able to buy the product. Even though they were willing to buy, product was not available in the supply chain. When it got available, people start buying it. When it became a little bit more convenient, people started buying more. When it is more experiential purchase, people started buying more. So it's all about adding more value for the customer. Demand will be generated for them. And regarding the market, India is a huge market. And I think even we dent 10% of those mom and pop store, this intelligent retail will be a $1 billion channel in itself. Yeah. So coming back to you, Siddharth, and I will borrow this question, and because we are, I think, less on time now, question from Viveck itself. So this is again another paradox. Paradox is that this LUP, because of this process inefficiency, logistics cost, packaging, they are relatively high unit cost. At the same time, on the other side, the pricing is more or less fixed, like 5 rupees product, 10 rupees product, 20 rupees product, and we cannot change. So brands are sandwiched in between. They have high cost, but they cannot increase the price. Overall, the margin is reducing day by day.
Yeah.
But if you look at their earning, like these LUPs, they are contributing close to 70%, 80% of their overall portfolios. So is this a trap which these brands are coming into? Or they are trying to capture the fortune at the bottom of the pyramid?
Yeah, I mean, because these have to be low margin products. So it's best that you use it only as a trial pack, or in some cases a convenience pack where it has to be limited availability at convenience spots, like for example in maybe a bus stop or something like that, right? But if you make LUPs, which are low margin products, available across the country everywhere, and you don't have a path to go into higher margin value packs, which are high volume, then you are in a trap. But some companies are able to do LUPs which are, not so much cheaper, but in some cases you find LUPs are the cheapest per gram,
Yes.
So then that doesn't make any, then you're definitely getting yourself in a trap, right? Now, of course, large companies can have different objectives, and of course, they can help you, LUPs can help you in creating market leadership when you're not the market leader, disrupting the market, and then everyone is forced to get into that trap of again coming up with a competing product. In our case, we would, and in beverages, typically the smaller price packs, the larger sizes are more economical on a per ml basis, so that at least there is a path to move to higher volume packs, which are higher margin products as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, in many cases, I think brands have not been able to do that. But I mean, I think limiting availability, in some cases, limiting availability to some channels could be an answer as well. It won't be perfect on the ground, but you'll be able to at least somewhat limit the availability in channels where you don't want the LUPs to sell. Or just making it available at specific times of the year to drive trials, to drive consumption, and then taking it off the market could be another thing.
Yeah, but maybe a strategic planning has to be done for LUP. Over to Prerna. I think I'm done.
Okay, that's where I guess we covered a lot of aspect about supply chain challenges across LUP and how different channels and specifically technologies taking like brands are taking technology as a tool, right, to overcome these challenges. Coming on to our second session, and we'll have to quickly wrap it up because it's already 12:22. So I'll quickly ask one question each, and before that, share some insights about LUP, how do they drive growth and sustainable supply chain, right? And how different channels, right, whether it is intelligent retail, modern trade, general trade, or distribution aggregators, right, play or impact the brand's customer acquisition strategy or their investment to require to acquire customers, right? So these are few of the insights that we got. And some of the people who are listening to this webinar, we'll be sharing the detailed case study as well as part of a blog with which you can like deep dive onto these numbers as well, right? Coming on to money, right? Like you have seen a very different path of your growth of your business, right? Where pre-COVID you were mostly into retail, right? Offline retail, right? Which is basically stores, right? And then now you have a very different trend in your numbers, right? How do you think the strategy changed, and what is your current split between the existing general trade outlets versus intelligent retail and modern trade, etc.?
Yeah, it has been a drastic change because as you can understand with COVID and with lockdown, and mainly in metro cities, people literally stopped going to mom and pop stores or GTMT stores actually. There was a lot of ordering online, on phone, home deliveries that were happening. And with the kind of category we are, it is better for the consumer to just walk to the store, and when they see the product, then it's an impulse buy, right? For snacks, it's always an impulse buy. So it was not possible to survive in retail with the slowdown in retail happening. And with an intelligent retail channel like vending machines coming in, we saw almost threefold jump in the way we were doing business. It was way more. It has shifted way more to vending machines and e-commerce as compared to retail. I mean, probably we were doing 190 plus% in retail earlier, and we shifted it to almost 50% retail, and remaining 50 is e-commerce and intelligent retail like vending machines and smart kiosks.
Wow, that has been, I guess, drastic change. Wow. So
Yeah.
coming on to Venu, right? You launched a pillow pack, right? What are other out-of-box strategies, right, specifically after COVID times that you are taking up, right, in order to let your customers taste your product?
So we are reaching out to more of our target consumers, like primarily people who are looking at active lifestyle, runners, doing some activities at jogger parks, and trying to get associated with the brands and products where the target consumer is the same. Trying to bundle up products or do a exchange of discount coupons for e-commerce. And it is definitely working as well, because what I would believe is the customer base for active lifestyle, healthy eating habits, fitness and sport is primarily 6 to 8% of the overall population, I would say. And there are like dozens of us fighting for the same target consumer. And sometimes we have different products as well. So we might not essentially be, competing with each other. So we are partnering up with brands like that, and which is definitely helping. Okay,
great. Coming on to Viveck, right, that you are now launching Just, right? Coming as a D2C brand, or basically a brand which is directly now would be targeting consumers, right? And you started placing your products into intelligent retail, right? Like how this shift, what are the decisions that are driving these steps, right, to putting up your products into intelligent retail and different distribution channel versus the traditional channels like GTMT?
Actually, it is clearly we are following shift in consumers' purchasing trend, what various channels they are using. So it's simply consumer is dictating us where to keep the product, because till 10, 15, 20 years, 10, 15 years back, we could never imagine that people would be buying anything online. And as online became popular, or these e-commerce portal became popular, we were sure that, okay, barring a few products, rest would surely are not going to sell on, because people, they want to touch and they want to feel many products. So they are not going to be happening. But now we have seen clear shift that people are now accepting online purchase as a convenient form of purchase. They are now acceptable, adaptable to it. So considering this wherever, so our strategy would be basically on these new formats which have come up surely. Obviously, we are not going to leave any, but definitely our focus is going to, because our product is also targeted towards youngsters.
Okay, so availability,
Youngsters is
ensuring availability is your mantra basically.
yes. So for youngsters, this is all these e-commerce platform. They are their choice of purchase. So that is what their preference is. So obviously, we know the pulse of the customer. So we'll be available wherever we find the most customer. So I think this is it has become a very, very attractive media for us to place our product. And obviously, we'll keep making penetration less and keeping up, pushing our product through all these different portals.
Okay. Siddharth, coming on to you, right? You have been selling your bottled pack, right? And now I guess you're coming up with a smaller SKU, which is priced much more affordable, right, for the consumer, right? What is driving that decision, and what are the kind of channels now you are exploring, right? Considering it's gonna be a smaller pack, and like we discussed, it's gonna be obviously lesser margin, right? So what are the channels, different channels apart from your existing ones that you are exploring now?
So what's driving that is that now we have clarity that there is consumer acceptance towards what kind of products and what is the sort of the base of consumers that we can target with a bottled tea product. And we're bringing something, for example, in chai space and calling it chai. So, making it available across the country in smaller towns as well as metro cities, and to consumers who are, across the socio-economic bands is important. To get there, obviously, GT is very, very important. And like Viveck said, we never imagined that beverages will sell so well online. Online, through platforms like Swiggy and Grofers and Big Basket, has become the biggest channel for us. About 35% of our sales come from that channel. And we never thought that would be the case 2 years back. But now we think that online will remain an important case, because there both planned purchases are happening, let's say through an Amazon Big Basket, but also with now the 10-minute delivery channels, the impulse purchase is also happening in online. But traditionally in beverages, convenience has been the biggest channel. The convenience, when I talk about convenience, India did not have a convenience channel for the longest time. But I mean, to some extent, you have, things like 24/7, but 7-Eleven globally, and now, the petrol pump stores. But the best convenience channel is definitely vending machines. So we're very happy that vending machines is now really, really sort of picking up. And I think for food and beverages, that convenience that they bring of having something on the go is unparalleled as a channel. So that would be one big channel. GT, of course, for the long term, but initially we would focus on vending and D2C channels or online channels, which are also, with a slightly bigger focus on the more impulse-driven channels like a Swiggy or now Blinkit, and these sort of more fast delivery channels, I think, would be very important for this, even this 20-30 rupee price point category.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. Like, I guess we've tried to cover all the points and come to a conclusion, right? Availability and convenience will be the game changer always, right? And the brands will continue to explore different channels. Obviously, now they are leveraging technology as a tool and intelligent retail, vending machine, etc., are definitely now an upcoming channel, right? While in India they are still nascent, and in other countries, right, they have played and already are playing, right, a significant role in terms of expansion of a lot of D2C brands, right? And with that coming in India, I guess the brands are ready to explore, ready to take that plunge, right? So we are also happy. We wanted to get those insights from you so that we as Daalchini at Daalchini can add more value to the brands who are already on our platform. Thank you, everyone. In case there are questions from the audience, would like to take those questions.
And before we conclude, Prerna, thank you, Prerna and Vidya. Thank you very much for inviting us, and hope we have done a good job, and you'll call us again. And our very best wishes. You're doing a very good job, and our very best wishes for grand success. And also to Siddharth and Venu, Bunny, you're all doing a wonderful job. So all the best and great job.
Thank you, Viveck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, guys,
Thank
for
you,
your time.
Prerna, and thank you,
Okay,
Vidya.
bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
a lot
you.
for your time, guys.